Good morning, everybody. This is Constance with Charmy Custom Crafts, and I should say a very early morning. I've been working on this most of the night, and I took a quick little nap because my computer was mandated to restart. Anyway, I am teaching the spinner card, the string spinner. There are two spinner cards and varieties in each. But I decided to use my ATC card as my teaching, and I'll explain as I get to it. I don't know how many videos this is going to be. It could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3. But this is my ATC card swap for Christmas. And it's awesome. I mean, I really like it. It's so much fun. It has this cute little reindeer, and I'll explain how I did it. But see, here's how a string spinner works. And you can see my little snowflake here. Now watch it. It'll spin. It already spun real fast. You wind it up. Let's see if we can show it here. You wind it up. It's super easy to do, and you can do it with some of the basics. Watch. There you go. It's just a quick little spin. If you open up my ATC card, if you can see, I put a little bit of a heart and my Santa on this side that says ho 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 and December 25th. And then my ATC card information I will put on afterwards. But I'm going to teach you how to make this. It's super easy, and I'm doing it in small style. As if you guys can see, the last ATC swap, I also taught the double slider. And I did it in a ATC card format. ATC card stands for Artist Trainee Card, and it's the baseball cards for crafters, paper crafters. As you can see, I have all my products here at the bottom that's going to teach you how to make this. So what I started with, and it's amazing because normally you would start with a piece of paper and you would cut it to 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. That's the size of a baseball card. That's a size of an ATC card. But this time I did something a little different. I actually used, and I ran across these, and I thought they were fantastic. I ran across these place card, and they're place cards that you would use for weddings or whatnot. And I happened to run across 3 packs of them. I don't even know, maybe for $2. And I thought, oh, this is perfect for what I had planned. I've been wanting to teach both spinners and teach them to where you guys can understand them. But this kind of worked in. If you guys can see, it actually says right here, 3.5 inches by 2 3/4 inches. So one dimension was correct. The other one was off by 1/4 of an inch. So I just trimmed them down by 1/4 of an inch to make them 3.5 by 2.5 inches. So they were perfect. This is white, acid-free, cardstock, place card, and linen-free. So I use these. I have several packs that came in that. But I wanted to show you that. I used that, some craft paper, and some snowflake paper. And I did cut down the snowflake paper to 2.5 by 3.5, but on all 4 sides, I did it just slightly, just a hair underneath the 2.5 and the 3.5, so it would fit in better. So I cut 2 sheets of this, 2.5 by 3.5, just slightly smaller than that. 2 pieces. You're going to need 2 pieces of that, and I'm going to show you. For the back, I used one of my, and I've got stuff on it already. I used this stamp, and there's several stamps out there. You can use whatever you have. It's just to give you an idea of how to do the back. And again, you can use anything that could give you some lines here on the back to put information. So I'm sure that you in your arsenal have something, or use a ruler and pen. So let me get started here. So after I got my ATC card put together, or, trimmed down, this is what it looked like. And I did go ahead and stamp the back with my artist trading card information. And again, use a ruler and a acid-free, gel pen. And then just do that. Now, I ended up using, where's the stamp? I don't have the other piece with me right now. But I used this stamp here. I don't know if you can see it. It is the Santa. Let me see if I can find out who it's from. I'll show you here. I found it. It is this one right here that I use. It is from Recollection. It's Holiday Decor. I really thought it was cute. It fit in perfect, so I went ahead to cut down on a little bit of time, and I went ahead and stamped the inside. Now, I'm going to show you how I did all of this fairly quickly. If I grab it. I was over there playing with things. Now I start with basic things to start with so that it makes it easier and faster to do it. So I use just 3 basic colors of my watercolors, and you're going to see me use all these things as we go. I'm just going to stick them all over for a minute. You're going to see me work on this stuff. So I use 3 basic watercolor pencils, making it super simple. I also used some blue ink from the Color Box wheel. I used the blue, and I'm going to use that real quick. That's all I'm going to need is the blue one, any kind of blue, since this is my winter theme, and I like the idea of doing kind of like a wispy look because it looks like it's cold on the edges and like the frost is coming up. So I went ahead and went this way. Doesn't have to be perfect because of how I'm going to do the ink, or not ink, my watercolors. And if you notice, I folded it inside because this side we're going to do something else too. Now you guys could do this in a larger format. You can use shapes at home. And these are older, so they're starting to disintegrate. You can use basic shapes at home. You don't have to have punches. But what I did is I made sure that when I did this one, that these are some stuff that you can use, basic stuff you have around the house. And I'm sure you can make place cards or make a full-size card and do a spinner. I have several. If you guys go back to my Christmas cards last year, I did from Winter Folic. I did the, I think it was Winter Folic. I did the Ice Skater girl, and I double did her. And when I mean double did her, I actually did a duplicate of her and one backwards for my Cricut machine, to where she was spinning, and I bent her leg up. It was so cool. And I also did a bat one for a Halloween for my nephew. It was cute. Loved it. So I got that part done. So what I did, and guys, watch how quickly I do this, and I want you to see this. Just let it free flow. I'm going to do the little face with a little bit of peach. And these, again, these are Kimberly watercolor inks, or watercolor color pencils. And I just went around, and I pressed down kind of hard, and you'll see why. Because I'm going to do the water effect on this very quickly. Super fast. Of course, I've already made about 9 of them, even though I'm only required to do 10. These just came out so nice. I think I'm going to give one as a gift. These can actually be used as cards. Now, I have my H2O pen. I have several of them. This one's my fine tip one. Now, you could squeeze it out, but for what I'm going to need, I'm going to put a couple drops of water right here, and then I'm going to use the brush. You can use a regular paintbrush if you have it. I like the control of the water. Now I want you to see that I'm going to start with the red first. And don't worry if it's not perfect. And again, the water well does have control, but you'll see why I'm doing it this way. And as a matter of fact, it might be easier for you to just use a paintbrush. And again, just have a little fun. One thing about this water brush is just fantastic. You keep the control of your own water well, and you don't need as much water. I'm doing this for a reason. Now, watch how I fill this up, this brush mark. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do the face, and I'm going to do the hand. That's how quickly it's done. It's going to take a few minutes to dry. Now, I'm going to fill this up, and I'm going to pull that red through, whatever comes off. And this is how you're going to get the blending effect. You don't have to have the fancy, smancy spritz. You could do this with the watercolors, and I just love how this turns out. And just pull it completely through, leaving his beard and his face as far away from the color as I can. We're going to keep going here. And I want to make sure I stay solid on what they have here. But with the red, so the red still holds. Now I'm just taking it and pulling it through and blending it through. Doesn't have to be perfect because it will multi-layer. Giving it a second to dry. I'm going to give it a second to dry here. I'm going to blow on it. And normally you'd give it a few minutes to dry a little bit. And I may have one already done. I know I do. I have it in stages.